I'm Doug Barnes, and I'm the chair of the Board of Commissioners for the King County Housing Association, and I'm delighted today to be here to preside over such a wonderful event at our new community. One thing I think that you can all see from here today is that the community is in a great location, and it's next to the Les Gove Park, which has undergone its own little renaissance. The 21-acre community park campus sports a beautiful new activity center / gymnasium that serves our youth, teens, adults, and seniors while they participate in activities ranging from basketball, exercise, and dance to indoor soccer. A climbing wall is flanked by public art that connects that gym to the senior center. In addition, there are other facilities located there that include a library, a huge barrier-free playground, and a short paved trail, as well as the White River Valley Museum. It's our understanding that Phase 2 will be under construction soon and will include the construction of a 22,000 square foot community center. Located amidst this rich array of amenities, Green River Homes is an exciting place to live, full of promise and possibilities for our families and their children. I think that's what all makes it very special. Before I get into the invited guests today, and we do have a number, I have a whole litany of thank yous that I very proudly would like to hand out. And please, if you could, hold your applause to the end. And those of you that I do, if you are here, if you could recognize, so we could recognize you, could you raise your hand? And I'm going to start with Dan Watkins. Also, we have Todd Dennis, Carl Frankel, Steve Jefferis, Patrick Capona, Barb Clark, Jackie Rhodes, Billy Holzer, and Clyde DeCourcy from the Capital Construction Department. Additionally, from KCHA, we have Tim Walter, Wen Su, Tim Locke, Ed Hahn from Asset Management. Additionally, from KCHA, we have Barb Clausen, Vicki Scherer, and Aaron Williams from the Administrative Services. Additionally, Kina Fourier, Hannah de la Vega, Carolyn Robinson, Marcia Murphy, Dave Gashler, and his staff at Green River Homes, as well as Marcia Premel. And of course, special recognition goes out to our good friend Mike Siva, who has been the driving force behind this project. I think there wasn't a single aspect of the project, from the financing to where actually the light switches and everything else are located in the specific units, that Mike wasn't involved in. And so will you please help me join in giving them all a good round of applause. Before reconstruction began and after they're completed, the staff at KCHA spends a lot of time ensuring that the needs of our residents are met. For her efforts on behalf of the residents, I'd like to acknowledge Gina Belsario. Thank you, Gina. And I'd also like to point out some other development partners who are a prominent role in the success of Green River Homes. Green River Homes is as attractive as it is due to the design efforts of CNJA architects. Thank you, Dan Jensen. And also to Bob Kovalenko and Paul Stricker of Kovalenko and Hale Architects. We'd also like to acknowledge our valued partners at Synergy Construction, who served as a general contractor. So thank you to Pam and Larry Stewart, Jamie Creek, Michelle Lee, Rex Parrott, Dwayne Yeager, and the whole Famulous team for your due diligence, your flexibility, and your contributions to cost savings and building a quality construction site. Additionally, Audrey West and Jeff Yamaguchi from Nakino Associates and Chris Pfeiffer and Jim Barbonas, our friends at Urban Forestry, created a welcoming place through the landscape design. Well done to all. Please help me thank them. Aside from being so attractive, the restoration of this 55-year-old public housing serves three important purposes. First, it provides a critical, affordable housing resources for decades to come. Additionally, it's now more efficient and less expensive to maintain, which keeps the operating costs low. Second, it complements the work of the City of Auburn, who's been doing an excellent job in improving the quality of life for its residents, including the work along M Street and the Les Gove Park campus. And lastly, it means kids and our residents' families here have a good, stable place to call home. And this is essential to have a secure place to live, to ensure better educational opportunities and future life successes. I think we all agree that good public educational opportunities go hand in hand with good affordable housing success stories. So thank you in that regard. Well, I know we'd like to hear from our speakers, so I'd like to start off today with Mayor Pete Lewis. Mayor Lewis grew up in a military family and then served in the Navy for several years. This means he has moved around a lot. When he came to Auburn in 1980, he knew he had found the place where he wanted to raise his two daughters and settle down to become a part of the community. For the past 2 decades, Mayor Lewis has worked tirelessly to ensure the city of Auburn continues to be the same kind of hometown community he was attracted to and where families and businesses can thrive. As mayor, he's worked to realize a vision that has moved the city forward in a number of exciting ways, from the revitalization of the downtown area to the completion of the M Street corridor right behind us, to the exciting range of amenities and activities at the adjoining Let's-Go Park that we mentioned earlier. Mayor Lewis has helped to foster a community where residents can enjoy a wonderful quality of life. Mayor Lewis.
Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me here today to speak to you. And as always, thanks to Longhorn Barbecue, who seems to be everywhere at any event where food will be served. Now, I can also tell you that my city council really appreciates your comments and all the kind words that you've said. Now, we have some council members here. I know one of them was ecstatic about the comments you were making about Let's Go Park. Council member Rich Wagner. And we have Bill Pelosa and John Partridge. John, there you are. We appreciate being a part of the ceremony. This facility has been a part of Auburn's history for so long. This started out originally at World War II as being housing for families while the people were overseas and the military coming back. In the early 60s, the railroad, BN, decided to move its headquarters. The city of Auburn had unemployment of over 25%. Think about that in terms of what we just went through with the Great Recession, where we were so concerned of 10 and 12%. 25% of the adult working population was unemployed. And our city council at that time went to the King County went to King County and asked the King County Housing Authority and the county to look at Auburn as a site for several of its housing projects that it was about to build. It put people back to work. It changed the face of this area, and it provided a place for people to live that were so desperately in need of housing. Now, at that time, when we talk about the M Street project, M Street closed at the tracks. It wasn't until the early 60s that you could get across M Street. And we know what that's like after the last year and a half of being closed, but we're so happy to have the N Street underpass done at this time. I hope you've had a chance to look at these facilities. This is a true commitment on the part of the King County Housing Authority, a separate agency from the county that does absolutely marvelous work in our communities. We have several of their projects here in Auburn. They are first rate. They work very strongly with us and with the community to make sure that they've got safe and secure and affordable housing for those that need it. Look at the playground equipment. Look at what they've done with the structures. They have changed the face of this area. It fits in so well with our concept of our new Let's Go Central Park. And we appreciate having you here as partners with the City of Auburn. Thank you for what you've done. Thank you for all the people who participated in this, and welcome back to Auburn once again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Lewis. And there's a few other people, I think, from the city of Auburn that we'd like to recognize real quickly, if we could. From the City of Auburn staff, we have Jeff Tate, Terry Bagley, Monty Bacon, and Kim Bakken, as well as our building expenser, Inspector Todd O'Brien. Also, we'd like to recognize the Chief of Police, Bob Lee, and the Assistant Chief, Bill Pearson. Also, it's my understanding from the Mayor's Office, Tommy Bothell, thank you, as well as Michael Hirsch. And a quick anecdote on Michael Hirsch. It's my understanding our own Dan Watson's mother, Michael was the paper boy for Dan's mother. So a little bit of history there. Also, the city attorney we have today is Dean Hyde and the Parks Director, Daryl Faber. I'm sorry, Dan Hyde. The project, though, also, besides getting tremendous support from King County Council and everyone up there at King County, we also got some vital support from our state and federal partners. I'd like to just briefly highlight that the Washington State Housing Finance Commission provided 4% tax credits here, which was critical in us bringing investors to the table. So thank you, Kim Herman, Steve Hunter, and your staff for those efforts. Additionally, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, better known as HUD, provided the subsidy that keeps the apartments affordable. We appreciate our tremendous partners at HUD, Mary McBride, Harlan Stewart, and Ryan Melkarik. I'd also like to acknowledge some of the efforts that have been done at the more at the federal level. Is Jacques Imperial here? Way back there. Wanted to say thank you. Jacques is the Senior Outreach Manager for Congressman Dave Reichert. And of course, Dave Reichert and his team have been very supportive of the Housing Authority and its efforts. Additionally, is Tommy Bauer here? Yeah, Tommy, thank you. Tommy Bauer is South Sound and Olympic Peninsula Outreach Director for Senator Maria Cantwell. We've had the opportunity to meet with her a number of times back in D.C., and we are very grateful to Senator Cantwell for her continued and staunch support of the federal low-income housing tax credit program. This tax credit program helps finance about 90% of the affordable housing projects nationwide, including this one right here. So speaking of finance, I think there's a number of multiple funding sources that we had to bring in to do this project, and they often have very contradictory requirements and make it challenging to put these complex deals together. But today I'd like to acknowledge and have come up and speak a couple of those partners who made this project what it is today. And first of all, we'd like to lead off with Alex Johnston, Bank of America Merrill Lynch, who has been a terrific partner with King County Authority for many years. They've played a significant role in helping the authority revitalize its aging public housing by providing construction financing for a number of projects, including Green River Homes. Alex?
Thank you, Alex. Thank you. Well, thank you very much. I heard a couple of words there, challenging and contradictory, and I think that might apply to us a little bit. On behalf of a couple of my partners, Merlene Locke, hand up, Merlene, Sartinder Parwana, who are on the credit side of the bank, and our partner Doug Bowlesby in Portland, who couldn't join us today, we are very appreciative of being a part of yet another grand opening. As the mayor said earlier, talking about the challenges the city faced, think about the last 5 years and think about the financial markets, equity markets, and all that the authority has had to do to keep their projects moving in a very uncertain environment. They have a terrific staff. And you heard a little bit about Mike's contributions to the physical development that we see here today. The financial side of these projects is likewise very complicated. And the authority has a great team that keeps a lot of balls in the air, keeps the contradictory and, what was the other term? Partners moving along. I'd like to particularly mention Tim Walter in that regard. So on behalf of Bank of America, thanks very much. It's been a terrific partnership over 25 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. I'd like to recognize another one of our partners, Catherine Fleming, RBC Capital Markets. RBC Capital Markets has been a major tax credit partner, helping us with our most complicated and sophisticated projects. They play the vital role of helping to secure the necessary investment that allows KCHA to do projects like Green River Homes. Catherine Fleming has worked closely with us on virtually all of our tax credits projects. She oversees asset management, making sure that the investor interests are protected. Catherine?
RBC Capital Markets, together with our investor partner Nationwide Insurance, is the equity provider for Green River Homes, and we are very proud to have been a partner in this project. This is our 5th partnership with King County, and we are always so pleased and very impressed with the quality of the properties that they develop. We've invested over $233 million in the state of Washington, and $88 million of that has been with the King County Housing Authority on the redevelopment of their tax credit projects. Renovations of this scale can be the most challenging and the most rewarding. It's always amazing to see the transformations occur and the impact that these investments can have in our communities. King County is extremely skilled at bringing all the right players to the table, even to make these most complex projects flow smoothly. We are privileged to have been part of this transformation to ensure that this housing will continue to provide stable, affordable, and beautiful homes for the families that live here. Thank you.
I'd also just like to take a moment and acknowledge a couple of other of our team members from RBC Capital Markets, Tony Alfuri, Stacy Altman, and Zach Tabak, who have assisted us in the process. Thank you. Now, part of the role that a financing syndicator plays is to identify and work with the tax credit investor who provides the permanent equity investment into the project that makes the majority of the work possible. Nationwide Insurance has partnered with RBC as its tax credit investor on multiple projects, providing more than $76 million, more than any other single tax credit investor in the KCH Properties portfolio. Today we have Ryan Ferry from Nationwide Insurance. Brian's been with them since 2005 and is very active in the community. Brian, would you like to say a few words? Thank you, Ryan.
So even though I'm an insurance guy, don't worry, I'm not going to try and sell you anything. They just put me behind the two money people, so I think I'm the last person. As I mentioned before, Nationwide Insurance partners throughout the country to bring housing together for a multitude of people. $76 million is no small amount, obviously, and it's a little bit of the goodwill that insurance companies like to do from time to time. We're not always the most well-liked all the time, even though Nationwide's on your side. A little slogan. Nationwide is a proud partner, though, of the Green River development, and it will positively impact the local community by providing affordable housing options for the most vulnerable members of our community. Nationwide's main mission is to help people protect what matters most. Our people and our customers come first. That's why we take the time to make investments in what is most important to customers and the community, namely their place of living. And Nationwide supports causes that support that mission because we're on your side. Nationwide is a company that values and is committed to giving back to the community. When Nationwide says they're on your side, it's safe to say they mean it. Thanks.
Next, it's my pleasure to introduce a speaker who I think most of you all know here, and I'm very proud to be able to work with him at the King County Housing Association. Stephen Norman has been there for 16 years. I am each day, each week, each meeting, I am more and more appreciative of his commitment and to his focus to affordable housing here in the Puget Sound region. And Steve, thank you. Would you like to come up and say a few words?
Well, this has definitely gone from jacket to shirt sleeve weather. Well, first of all, Doug, I'd like to thank you both for the leadership that you show as chair of the Housing Authority Board, as both a businessman and as an experienced real estate developer, and also for officiating today and working your way through the formidable list of thank yous, because that frees me up to actually talk about some of the big picture issues that bring us out today. So thank you again. I'd like to start out by talking about education. Why education? Because we at the Housing Authority believe that while there is an immediate need for more affordable housing, the long-term solution to the crisis of not having enough affordable housing is to assure that low-income children growing up today in our communities have the opportunities to succeed in school. Last year, school districts in King County reported over 5,200 homeless children in their classrooms. 137 of these were in the Auburn school district. 5,200 homeless children, and this is up by 57% over the last 3 years. Homeless kids can't learn. Kids who are sleeping on a relative's couch can't do their homework. Kids who change classrooms every 2 months because their parents don't have stable housing don't get through the curriculum at that grade. Stable housing needs to be recognized as a key element of educational success. I'm pleased to say that 83 children today who live at Green River Homes will have a chance to succeed at school. As with the other 14,000 children that KCHA houses in its public housing and Section 8 programs, they will have the opportunity to stay in the classroom, to go home at night, to work in the after-school programs that we provide, to succeed, to break or prevent multi-generational cycles of poverty in their families. What we do is education policy as much as it is housing policy. A second theme is the elderly. By 2025, 1 in 4 residents in King County will be over the age of 60. Many of them will be poor. Some 54,000 seniors in this county will be living in poverty. Over a quarter of them will be disabled. KCHA houses over 5,000 seniors today. There are another 4,000 on our waiting list. We simply cannot keep up with the demand. Already, the region is starting to see an increasing number of seniors coming into the homeless housing shelter system. Allowing elderly folks to live on the street is simply wrong. It does not reflect our values as a community. On top of this, healthcare costs are a growing concern in our economy. And healthcare costs for the elderly in large part drive the overall cost of the system. We need to recognize that housing is healthcare, that the benefits of stable housing and reducing emergency room visits and driving down hospitalizations among vulnerable elderly populations has been well documented. For both our community and our economy, this is a challenge. Housing the elderly as they grow in proportion to the rest of the population over the next 15 years, this is a challenge that we as a community must rise to. I also want to acknowledge our 2 United States senators, Senator Murray and Senator Cantwell. Senator Murray, as the chair of the Appropriations Subcommittee, which oversees the HUD budget, has shown enormous leadership in trying to protect funding for these kind of programs. Despite her best efforts, sequestration is threatening to roll back much of what we have accomplished in the last decade. We believe that we run some of the finest housing, public housing, in the country. We take our commitment to the residents and to the surrounding communities very seriously. Currently, with sequestration, we are getting 82 cents on the dollar to run the public housing. And as our utility bills have to be paid 100% on the dollar, that increasingly squeezes down the money we have for repairs and maintenance and property management. Our capital funding is now at the lowest point it has been in 20 years. The last time we saw this number in our capital grant from HUD was 1993. I am concerned that our ability to deliver the high-quality services that our communities have become accustomed to in the future is going to be jeopardized by long-term continuation of sequestration. Senator Murray has requested our support in trying to get higher levels through the Senate, and I hope all of you will give it to her. I also want to repeat what Doug said about a key element in all of these projects being low-income housing tax credit equities, and again, echo the thanks to Senator Cantwell for the leadership she has shown in continuing to improve the program and now protecting it as we move into an era of looking at complete tax reform. This is a program that needs and must be continued into the future if we are going to find the money to keep these kind of complexes in tip-top shape. And finally, I want to thank again the City of Auburn. It has been a magnificent partnership. I applaud the vision that has gone on in terms of the revitalization of this entire neighborhood, from the pedestrian safety to the transportation circulation improvements to the vision for Leys Grove Park. And I truly look forward to rising to housing and community development challenges in this community together, hand in hand with Auburn in the future. So thank you.
Again, thank you, Stephen. Thank you for your dedication to the affordable housing community. Lastly, we have today Sandy Goodnow. And Sandy Goodnow is a resident here at Green River Homes. And I think I speak on behalf of all of us when we are so pleased that you will share your time with us today. Before she does come up, though, I want to give you a little bit of history about Sandy, if I could. Sandy lived at Green River Homes before the renovation work began. After being temporarily relocated during the construction process, Sandy elected to return back to Green River Homes. She has made it very clear that she's delighted to be able to move back into what she feels like is a brand new home. Sandy used to live in California, working as controller at a board assembly factory until she was severely injured in a fall. Because she was no longer able to do that job, she was also unable to afford her rent. Worried that she might become homeless, she moved to Auburn to work as a bookkeeper for her brother's business. When that didn't completely pan out, Sandy decided to use her degree in early childhood development and open a home daycare business, which she ran for 5 years until her disability worsened and made it impossible for her to continue working. That's when she applied to KCHA for housing. And the rest, as they say, I guess, is history. She's been a resident here at Green River Homes for about 8 years. So Sandy, please.
I moved to my new apartment last December, and I love my new space. I have wide doors so that I can easily go through. I asked for metal plates to protect the doors from my chair because my hands are bad, and sometimes I want to go one way, my chair goes another way. But we work it out. So I was concerned about the bathroom, especially the tub. They installed extra grab bars. They also cut out a section in the tub so it's safer for me to get in and out. When I told the office that I could not use my ramp in my van to get in and out of my car, I had to get out on the street, and that wasn't safe for me, especially in the rain. They put in a cement turnaround for my chair. My doctor was concerned about my frequent falling, and now it is a second bedroom instead of one for a night caregiver to be there in case I fall. And this is Jess. She's sitting right next to me. And she is a godsend. I love my flowers and find great joy in working with them. I miss working with the children, but now I have my flowers. With my front and back patios, I can work with them to my heart's consent. I love my house and feel safe and secure there. I know that my concerns are addressed, and they will always find a solution for me here. I intend to be a long-time resident. I'm not the only one who feels this way. This is also a wonderful place for children and families. The children love the park here and the playground right across my backyard. And they have lots of room for families, both places. Thank you, Dave, and the office team. You are so helpful and kind and always find a way to solve our problems. Thank you.
And thank you, Sandy, for sharing some of your life experiences with us. Again, I want to thank everyone for coming, and we had such a long list of thank yous to give out today. I hope I haven't omitted anyone. I know I surely butchered a few names, but I hope that doesn't take away from the thanks that we all have for you today. Thank you again.